Detective Curtis Blackwood had responded to plenty of restaurant emergencies during his 15 years with the Millbrook Police Department, but the scene at the Copper Kettle on March 15th felt different. Robert Sullivan, a 47-year-old insurance adjuster, lay motionless on the floor beside table 12, his usual spot for the past 8 years. The paramedics had declared him dead at 8:47 p.m. The dinner crowd had been evacuated, but their abandoned meals told the story of a normal Tuesday evening interrupted by tragedy. Manager Beatrice Thornton stood near the kitchen door, visibly shaken, while staff clustered together, whispering in traumatized tones. Emergency medical technician Garrett Phelps described Sullivan's condition. He was unconscious, severe facial swelling, obvious respiratory distress, Phelps told Blackwood. Classic anaphylactic shock. We administered additional epinephrine immediately, but his body didn't respond to treatment. He was fine when I took his order at 7:30, waitress Fiona Yamamoto told Blackwood, hands shaking. Same thing he always gets. Grilled chicken breast, steamed vegetables, no seasoning, extra careful about the allergy. Mr. Sullivan was so nice about our precautions. He even asked about my daughter's soccer tournament this weekend. Yamamoto had served Sullivan dozens of times over 8 years and knew his routine perfectly. He always arrived alone on Tuesday evenings around 7:15 after finishing work reviewing insurance claims. He'd order the identical meal, read industry journals while eating, and leave a generous tip with friendly conversation. Mr. Sullivan was genuinely kind, Yamamoto continued. He knew all our names, remembered personal details, always asked about our families. When my son was in the hospital last year, he sent flowers. Sullivan's severe shellfish allergy was legendary at the Copper Kettle. The protocols had been implemented after a terrifying close call during his second visit, when cross-contamination from the main prep station sent him to the emergency room. Beatrice Thornton, who had owned the restaurant for 23 years, immediately overhauled their entire food safety system. The Sullivan Protocol, as staff called it, was comprehensive. A dedicated red-taped prep station in the corner was used exclusively for allergen-free meals. Special utensils, marked with red handles, never touched seafood. Chef Maxime Trudeau personally prepared every Sullivan meal, washing hands with antibacterial soap and changing gloves twice during the process. Even the plate was specially marked and hand-washed separately. Thornton had trained every staff member on the protocols during monthly safety meetings. She'd posted laminated instruction cards throughout the kitchen, and violations meant immediate suspension. The system had worked flawlessly for 8 years, through staff changes, busy rushes, and substitute chef coverage. Veronica Sullivan arrived 25 minutes after the emergency call, having driven from their Riverside neighborhood home. She collapsed into the booth where her husband had eaten his final meal, sobbing uncontrollably. He was so careful, she told Blackwood between gasps. He always carried 2 EpiPens, checked expiration dates religiously. We had reminders set on both our phones. How could this happen here? Blackwood studied Veronica's reaction carefully. In his experience, genuine grief had specific patterns: shock, denial, desperate searching for answers. Veronica displayed appropriate responses, but something felt rehearsed about her questions. She seemed more concerned about how it happened at the Copper Kettle than what had happened to Robert. "When did you last check his EpiPens?" Blackwood asked gently. 2 weeks ago, Veronica replied without hesitation. "March 1st. We always check on the 1st of the month. They were both good until next February. I made sure of it." The precision struck Blackwood as unusual. Most spouses would express uncertainty about medical details during emotional trauma. Veronica's immediate, specific response suggested either exceptional organization or careful preparation for this question. The investigation focused on kitchen protocols. Chef Maxime Trudeau, a 10-year veteran who trained at the New England Culinary Institute, walked Blackwood through the evening's preparation. Trudeau had an impeccable reputation for attention to detail and food safety standards. "I use the dedicated allergy station like always," Trudeau explained, pointing to the red-taped steel surface. "Mr. Sullivan's chicken never touches anything near seafood. I prepare his meal first, using red-handled utensils reserved for allergen-free preparations. But Blackwood noticed something troubling. For the first time in months, Trudeau had prepared both Sullivan's meal and the evening seafood special within the same 40-minute window. The proximity was abnormal for Trudeau, who typically maintained strict separation between allergen-free and seafood preparations. Line cook Ezra Nakamura confirmed the timeline was uncharacteristic. Chef usually does Mr. Sullivan's order first when he arrives, Nakamura explained, but tonight he started scallops around 7, then switched to Mr. Sullivan's chicken around 7:25. He seemed rushed. Nakamura also noted Trudeau had been checking his phone constantly and delegating tasks he normally did personally. The medical examiner's report confirmed anaphylactic shock, but Dr. Vivian Cho discovered unexpected details. The reaction was severe and rapid, she told Blackwood. There's clear evidence he attempted to use his EpiPen multiple times. The injection sites show at least 3 separate attempts, indicating he was conscious and fighting for survival. When Blackwood examined Sullivan's emergency kit, both EpiPens showed expiration dates of September 2023, 6 months past effectiveness. Veronica's reaction was immediate denial. That's impossible, she insisted. I check those every 3 months religiously. I have calendar reminders, alarms set for the first of every month. Blackwood requested Veronica's phone, which showed calendar entries for check Robert's EpiPens with the most recent marked completed March 1st. Pharmacy records confirmed she'd picked up refills February 28th, just 2 weeks earlier. The contradiction was stark. Current records indicated fresh medication, but the physical devices were expired. The investigation took a dramatic turn when Blackwood reviewed security footage. The 4-camera system captured Veronica Sullivan entering through the back kitchen door on February 14th during the restaurant's slow afternoon period. She remained inside 37 minutes, with cameras showing intimate conversation with Chef Trudeau in the dry storage area. Thornton confirmed suspicions. I confronted Maxim the next morning, she told Blackwood. He claimed Veronica was picking up Robert's forgotten wallet, but she moved around like she'd been there before. She knew exactly where to find him. Footage review revealed Veronica had visited 8 times since January 15th, always when Trudeau worked alone during prep time. The visits ranged from 25 to 45 minutes, consistently using the back exit. By late February, interactions had evolved to intimate embraces and prolonged physical contact. March 8th footage showed them reviewing documents together in the kitchen office. Blackwood's partner, Detective Luna Castillo, investigated the family finances. Robert carried a substantial $500,000 life insurance policy through his employer, plus an additional $300,000 private policy. The private premiums were $847 monthly, significant for their middle-class income. More concerning, Veronica had accumulated $89,000 in credit card debt across 7 accounts, much hidden from Robert. The debt originated from her mother's cancer treatment, but escalated due to high interest rates. She was facing bankruptcy within 6 months. Veronica had called the insurance company multiple times in February, asking specific questions about claim procedures and accidental death benefits. Phone records revealed extensive communication between Trudeau and Veronica beginning in January. The messages evolved from casual conversation to intimate planning, with discussions about Robert's medical condition and dining routine. You know his allergy better than anyone, Veronica had written March 10th. He trusts you completely with his food. That trust could solve all our problems. Trudeau's response was equally incriminating. I've been thinking about what you said. It would have to look completely accidental, but I know exactly how to make it happen. The most crucial evidence emerged from forensic analysis of Sullivan's EpiPen devices. The pharmacy confirmed Veronica had picked up refills February 28th, but laboratory analysis revealed shocking systematic tampering. The epinephrine concentration had been reduced to 15% of therapeutic dose, barely detectable but insufficient to counteract severe allergic reactions. This wasn't random tampering. explained Dr. Claudia Vance, the FDA's lead forensic pharmacologist. Someone with knowledge of medication composition had systematically reduced effectiveness over time. The needle puncture sites were nearly invisible, and the replacement solution was carefully matched to maintain proper pressure and appearance. The forensic timeline suggested tampering occurred gradually over several weeks, with someone accessing Robert's medication repeatedly. This indicated intimate knowledge of his daily routine, medication storage habits, and replacement schedule. Blackwood confronted Trudeau first, armed with security footage, phone records, and forensic evidence. The chef's composure cracked when presented with audio recordings of his conversations with Veronica. She said it would look like a completely natural accident, Trudeau confessed after 3 hours of questioning. Veronica convinced me we were helping him find peace while giving us a chance at happiness. She told me Robert had been depressed about work stress, that he'd mentioned wanting to end his suffering. Trudeau revealed the full conspiracy. Veronica had researched Robert's medication schedule with scientific precision and gained access to his EpiPens while he slept. The murder required precise coordination, with Veronica manipulating Robert's work schedule by calling his office pretending to be a concerned client requesting urgent evening consultation. Trudeau had deliberately cross-contaminated Sullivan's chicken with shellfish protein from the main prep station, using a cutting board from scallop preparation. The contamination was subtle, designed to trigger severe reaction while appearing accidental. I knew exactly how much contamination would be needed, Trudeau admitted. Veronica had shown me Robert's medical records from previous emergency room visits. We calculated even microscopic amounts would be dangerous if his EpiPens failed to work properly. The chef also revealed they had practiced the medication tampering technique using expired EpiPens Veronica purchased online, testing different dilution ratios to find the precise concentration that would appear normal during casual inspection but fail during emergencies. When confronted with Trudeau's confession and forensic evidence, Veronica Sullivan's facade crumbled. She admitted to the affair and conspiracy, attempting to minimize her role by claiming murder was Trudeau's idea. "I just wanted to be with Maxime," she insisted. "I never intended for Robert to die." However, evidence painted Veronica as the primary architect. Her internet search history revealed extensive research into allergic reactions, EpiPen effectiveness, and life insurance procedures. She had visited medical websites, read case studies about fatal allergic reactions, and joined online forums to understand anaphylactic shock mechanisms. The financial motive was clear. Veronica had accumulated debt through her mother's medical expenses and was facing bankruptcy, which would force disclosure to Robert. Trudeau received life without parole for first-degree murder and conspiracy. Veronica Sullivan was sentenced to life without parole. The Copper Kettle closed permanently 6 weeks later. The publicity had destroyed the restaurant's reputation, and families with severe allergies stated they could never trust restaurants again. The closure resulted in 18 lost jobs. For Detective Blackwood, the case highlighted how intimate knowledge could become a weapon. Robert Sullivan trusted two people completely with his life, Blackwood reflected: his wife, who managed his medical care, and his chef, who prepared his food. They exploited that trust to commit murder. The case prompted changes in restaurant allergy protocols, requiring multiple staff verification for high-risk meals. Robert Sullivan's sister, Iris Pemberton, established the Robert Sullivan Foundation for Allergy Safety. Robert's death wasn't about restaurant safety, Pemberton said. It was about betrayal by the people who should have protected him most. 5 years later, the case remains a touchstone for discussions about domestic violence and medical vulnerability. Veronica Sullivan's appeals have been denied, and Maxime Trudeau died in prison in 2028, closing the final chapter on Millbrook's most shocking criminal case.